Winboss Signal Factory. Signals engineered for serious traders. What's up, traders? It's your boy Vincent, aka Winboss, and today we are analyzing from the lower time frames to the higher time frames and back to the lower time frames. This is the YouTube free watch list, and if you are new here, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification. Mostly share a comment so that YouTube pushes this to serious traders like you. So with that being said, we are going to start off with the DXY. Now, traders, last week I did mention that here we do have a change of structure. The 97.72 is the change of structure, the monthly change of structure. So with that being the case, this means that we are now going to look for selling opportunities. And we did give you a teaser in the Telegram channel yesterday. We showed that this right here is going to be, excuse me for that. We did show you that this right here is going to reach here and look for selling opportunities, and this is what exactly is happening at the moment. Now, if you are not in the Telegram channel, you are currently missing out. You are not trading, you are watching us make money and sitting on the sidelines. Stop leaving money on the table and start acting right when it comes to your money. So let's get into this. What do I want to see? Of course, this is going to the downside. Any small pullback and a continuation to the downside, we will take it. But preferably, if this goes and retest the 14-day liquidity right there, which is the 98.52, it will be also a great place to look for selling opportunities to go to the downside. And this is opportunity one. It has already came close enough, maybe 5 pips before it reaches this. Let me zoom in and show traders what I am talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Break to the downside, change of structure, almost came close and retested this level right here. Let me just adjust. It looks like it is not well adjusted for, yes, now it is. Now, traders, precision matters. That's why every level has to sit at the ultimate price. So with that being said, beautiful traders, I think we almost reached this 14-day liquidity. And if we do get a bounce from here and we go up and we test the second a place to look for selling opportunities, which is the wave liquidity. If you get to this level, selling opportunities are still open for traders to try and manipulate in the market and make money, or make that 1:20, which is usually what we make in the real account traders community. So with that being said, please make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you join our Telegram channel. The link to the Telegram channel will be left under the video description. And for now, we are now going to the daily time frame. What we analyzed was the 4-hour time frame, and on the daily time frame, you can see that the market just keeps on making lower lows and lower highs, and this looks like we are about to make this. So be careful, if this might come in, we will still also be looking for selling opportunities around this level here to take out structure even below. So for now, we are looking for selling opportunities on the daily time frame. We have what looks like a strong momentum to the downside, and if this happens to pull back, this is still nothing. We are not looking for buying opportunities. We are taking this as an opportunity to look for better opportunity, for better uh, chances to get this sell signal to the downside. And either way, the target is to break this low and take profit and make that 1:20 on lower time frames. So with that being said, this, if we do break this hard enough, we can continue to the downside. This also is a daily analysis. So let's go to the weekly time frame and show you why we could potentially go to the downside. Now, on the daily time frame, as we have seen, we need to go to the weekly time frame, and on the weekly time frame, we have a chance of potentially just going straight down and reaching this, which makes uh, our trading important, that we had this little bit of a pullback and a continuation to the downside. This week, it is a guarantee that we are going to break this low from last week, excuse me, it is guaranteed that we are going to break this low from last week, and after that, continuation to the downside will be imminent to for us to reach potentially this support area, or the deeper levels of this support area. So what does this show us? It shows us that the 4-hour time frame is aligned with the daily time frame, and it is aligned with the weekly time frame. Now it is time for us to check the monthly time frame. So with the monthly time frame, we are supposed to get signals that show us that this is going to the downside. Now remember, one candle represented the whole entire month. So with that being the case, this DXY is about to close. Remember, we already have a low that is lower than the opening of last month, which is March. So what does that mean? It means that there are more sellers now against the dollar than there were in March. So this simply means we are going to go to the downside this month of April, and potentially in May we are still going to go to the downside and make this, because this sort of looks like this is a change, this is a confirmed sell signal, and the following month went straight to the downside. Now this is a confirmed, and May might potentially go to the downside. Now let me remind you that going back to the charts, which is the 4-hour time frame, what do I want to see? I would definitely want to see this continue to the downside. If anything comes, the retest of the 14-day liquidity is best, and even the retest of the previous monthly liquidity now being tested from the downside is still works best. But this is the last but not least wave liquidity. If we do get to this, selling opportunities are imminent in this market, and we will be able to take out this low made from the previous 14 days. So with that being said, traders, this is the DXY for you, and we have to go now to the euro and the dollar to see what it has in store for us. So traders, with the euro and the dollar, very simply put, what we have is similar to the DXY. It is just inversely correlated. So let me get to this. But traders, before anything else, remember that the market uh, reward structure. So what does that mean? It simply means that going to the upside here was important. We did break the monthly break of structure. We did make some money here. Please go back to the lessons and losses video that was made on Saturday, so that you can understand real traders, how we got invalidated, how we avoided the market, and how we stayed ahead and adopted to the changing market conditions. So with that being said, traders, this is potentially what to expect in the market. Let's zoom in a little bit. So traders, after this strong momentum to the upside invalidating the monthly break of structure, the only thing that is left for us is the retest of this 14-day of this wave liquidity to the upside, and this 14-day liquidity to the upside. So if we are going to deal with this 14-day liquidity, then the wave liquidity has to be invalidated first, and then continue to the downside and look for buying opportunities. Either way, this is the bias to the upside. We are not looking for any selling opportunities. So if this potentially, and I do mean potentially, comes down and retest again, this would be a great place. And also we have to check our moving averages. So for those of you who are wondering, how much did we set this moving averages at? It is 200. So we did set the 200. All of them, they are simple, exponential, linear, and smooth. 200, all of them are set at 200. I don't want to compromise anything that is less than 200 moving average. Why do I not want to use anything that is less than 200 moving average? Because I want the trend direction. I don't want to deal with this being a bounce and this being a bounce. No, this is purely price action. I let the market breathe so that anything else can be filtered out, meaning fake breakouts and potentially spikes can be filtered out. So as soon as this goes above this moving averages, that shows that the trend has reversed and it has extended the wave to the upside to take out structure here, which is the monthly break of structure. Just as you can see that the previous month right here, which is March, this was the highest point of March, and in April we are not even uh close to, you know, finishing April, but already we are making new higher than the new high and higher than the previous month high. So this means that continuation to the upside is imminent. This would be opportunity one and opportunity two, or even opportunity three right here at this 14-day liquidity. So with that being said, traders, this is the euro and the dollar on the 4-hour time frame. We need to change and go to the daily time frame. So traders, on the daily time frame, very simply put, what the euro and the dollar have in store is the fact that we did have this good selling momentum to the downside, bounced, and we are now looking like we are continuing to the upside, failed to go below and break through. Now what is going to happen? Look at this, and then a continuation to the upside. This would look better on the daily time frame if we do have a pullback from these levels like this, and then continuation to the upside. All of this will be uh, paid attention to in the Telegram channel. So please make sure that you join the Telegram channel and go to the upside. So with that being said, beautiful traders, this is the euro and the dollar on the daily time frame. We do not need to discuss it any further or any deeper. This is what needs to be seen. Let me zoom in so that traders can see, and continuation to the upside. This looks like it is ready, but we wait for confirmation in the lower time frames so that anything else below this can be seen as a buy opportunity. Because if you look at it from a buyer's point or a buyer's perspective, we still didn't change the direction on the daily time frame. After testing here, everything else confirmed that this is a buy, and we might be continuing to break out this top right here with the euro and the dollar on the daily time frame. So we are changing now to the weekly time frame, and on the weekly time frame, everything else still plays around this being a support that is holding. And ever since, the power structure has changed to the upside, and we are looking like we are about to break this resistance right here, a little bit pullback, and then a continuation to the upside. This exactly what looks like, and this here, it's almost like above the 70% sure accuracy that we are going to invalidate the last week's high in the euro and the dollar on the monthly time frame. So to the upside, this is looking potentially like a winner. So traders, I don't want to waste time on this video, as I would like to keep it as short as possible. We are now going to the monthly time frame, and on the monthly time frame, everything else still looks like we are buying this. Let me zoom in a bit more so that traders can see what the charts are saying. On the monthly time frame, we have a new high from the previous month. It is evident enough because the previous month low was here and the high was here, and look at this tail. Right now, what is proven is that we are going to continue to the upside, maybe break this top. If we don't break it in this month, which is April, excuse me, we will break it, of course, in May. This is the target for May. So everything else that comes now, I will see this as an opportunity to take out structure right here in May, and it will be a beautiful setup to the upside. So traders, that is it with the small time frames to the higher time frame, and we are now dealing with, I have to remind you only what to expect. Now this looks like it is forming a tail. It did a tail and another tail. This looks like an indecision. But if we do want to get better opportunities, wait for the pullback, look for buying opportunities, and then continue by buying opportunities. If this pullbacks happen, you go to the 30 minutes time frame, and then you check something like this, a break to the upside on a 30 minutes time frame, a retest, look for buying opportunities and continuation. This means change of structure, buying opportunities, buy, stop loss, and everything else will be perfect for you. So this you only check in the 30 minutes time frame. You do not waste time on the daily time frame or on the 4 hour time frame. So the 30 minutes time frame, we use it to find entries, and the 40 minutes and the 4 hours is for direction, and the daily, weekly, and monthly is the momentum that we are going. So with that being said, traders, this is the the euro and the US dollar. So now we are potentially going to the pound and the dollar to see what the market has in store for us. And with the pound and the dollar, very simply put, we just closed the gap. Now we are continuing with the retested. Remember, in the small time frames, we are looking for break of structure, pullback, buying opportunities, continuation to the upside. This is what we are looking for in the 30 minutes time frame, so that we can get perfect opportunities or reliable trading signals. But if it keeps on making this, you are not, you know, eligible to go inside here and try to trade this market without confirmed entries. Now remember, in places like this is where people rush. Patience here isn't waiting, it's positioning for precision. So with that being said, traders, look for buying opportunities to go to the upside. This will help you, traders. This will help you to look for buying opportunities here. And if you see this going to the downside, do not panic, do not overthink. Wait for key levels, which are here given in the Telegram channel. So wait for key levels so that you can continue to the upside. This is pivotal for trading this week. So this is the pound and the dollar on the 4 hour chart. We should particularly go to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, very simply put, after this momentum to the downside, we did have a strong bullish momentum to the upside after reaching this support level right here from the sales that we've been having. After reaching this support, market went up. Now what do I want to see? I want to see it bounce from here and then continue to the upside because of the tails that are here, which forms a sort of a support or buy liquidity, and then to the upside. Now there needs there needs to be no explanation about this. The tails that I'm talking about are here, traders. Right at these levels, I want you to see how many tails we have. We have so many tails. We have so many tails. This in it on its own, it tells you that it has a significance, this level right here. So we will not be surprised to see the market go to the upside and reach the previous target right here in the market, whether before the month ends or right during the process of May or in the middle of May. So we should be damn and well prepared for this trading signature move. So with that being said, traders, this is the DXY, and this not the DXY, rather, for that matter, this is the pound and the dollar. If we do get a deeper pullback to retest these levels here, this would still be a fantastic place to go to the upside and make sure that we take profit on this high level right here, which is the resistance level on the pound and the dollar. So with that being said, we are now increasing the time frame so that we can go to the weekly time frame. And on the weekly time frame, I did said that this level right here, it's inevitably going to be taken out, especially with the close above this many tails. we might just come down and continue to the upside to take out the structure. By taking out the structure, we are taking out what we call the last week's high. So the aim for this week is to reach last week's high or make that 1 is to 20, which might not be part of last week's high. If you are risking like we risk in the real account traders community, you might as well go to higher levels and reach that 1 is to 20 risk to reward ratio in the system. So that is it with the weekly time frame. Everything doesn't need explaining. Even if we come here, we'd still be looking for buying opportunities. Why? Because we have not yet invalidated this and we are still in a buying opportunities, and we have just retested where the weekly liquidity is. We didn't even reach this level of support, so we would in turn believe that this is the one that is holding, and continuation to the upside is imminent in this market. Now we are now going to the monthly time frame, and on the monthly time frame, traders, this is a fantastic move to the upside. Why? Because even right now, the open of this month, April, is higher than the open of the previous month, which is March. And with that being the case, this simply means that we are going to the upside, and going to the upside is the highest probable chance because of what this and this looks like we are going to make this. So if you are not in here, why do you want to go up to the upside? Because after this new low made here, we had a new high. So this is the case, confirmation of a new high inside this big new high, and this obviously will tell us to continue to the upside. So you don't want to be left behind when the move happens. Make sure you are following me so that I can help you on the daily basis with these signals. So that is it from me with the pound and the US dollar. Let's go back to there for our chart and see what is still happening and what to expect. Right now, I want to see this happen, a bounce, and then a continuation to the upside. This would be a perfect opportunity for traders to make money in the markets and follow the pound and the dollar to the upside. We are not looking for any selling opportunities. And remember, if this doesn't hold and it comes down, this would definitely hold to the upside to make sure that we reach that 1 is to 20 risk to reward ratio. Now, this is the break of structure of the previous month, which is priced in at 1.3417. Now, here we will be buying this. Definitely, we will be buying this to the upside. And if you are missing this, I feel sorry for you already, because this is going to be a big move to the upside. This is going to be a big move to the upside. Don't be left behind. Be a part of the winning team. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Make sure that you are participating in good trading setups like this one. So that's it. Let's go over to the US dollar and the Japanese yen. The US dollar and the Japanese yen looks like it is about to break to the upside and then continue, just keep on continuing and making higher highs. Now, for me, this needs, skill, attention, and everything. Why do I want to buy the US dollar against the Japanese yen but sell the US dollar against a basket of other currencies? Because the Japanese yen is the worst performer of this month. So with that being said, traders, I don't want to be part of. It's best if you sit on the sidelines for this one. Don't over complicate things, but the structure still is to the upside. In here, we have not yet reached. Why? We have not yet reached the monthly break of structure. The monthly liquidity still hold, and the wave liquidity is still holding, even though we are making lows. So what does this simply mean when you see a market like this? It means that both currencies, they are on equal footing. This means that they are both weak or they are both strong, and you would like to stay away from markets like that. But anyway, we can see this much clearer if we do go to the 4 hour, the daily time frame, because we started on the 4 hours time frame. But if you go to the daily time frame, this shows you that we are having but a small pullback. We might just continue to the upside. We might just continue to the upside from these levels. Just this looks like a pause, something that you know you go out and have tea and come back to. But in the daily time frame, it needs straight confirmation. So if we go to the downside for the one last time, buying opportunities are still viable, viable in this market. So after all, this is a break of structure and continuation to the upside. So if we would not be surprised if it does continue to the upside, because the Japanese yen is the weakest of the currencies that we are analyzing. Even on the currency strength matter on the real account traders community, we are looking for Japanese yen shorts this week. So that is the daily time frame. We are bound to see what the weekly time frame says and what it signalizes. Now, most importantly is we have three tails right here on the weekly time frame, and with that being the case, we might just continue to the upside. Why? Because every single time the sellers come in, some buyers push them out. Every single time the sellers come in, some buyers push them out, and it has been a series for quite some time. We are waiting for this to break to the upside, retest, and then continuation to the upside. But this will only happen in the 4-hour chart. So for now, stay away from selling opportunities up until in the 4-hour chart we break here with a strong splash, come back, and then a continuation to the downside to retest here will be imminent. So rather than just guessing and forcing a trade here, wait, let the setup develop and go to the upside. This is not what most traders do, so this will cause troubles to those of you who do not wait. Now remember one thing. Let me go to the last time frame and give you one tip. The last time frame is, you see, on this time frame, the candle is still positive. We have no new low. This looks like it can potentially continue to the upside. This is the US dollar and the Japanese yen. Now, one thing you have to remember is if you are trading one time frame, you are already at a disadvantage. Higher time frames gives direction, lower time frames gives entry. This is what I've been telling you traders, that this gives direction, lower time frames gives you entry levels. So this can continue to the upside. The highest probability chance of this going to the downside is lower than it continuing to the upside. So US dollar Japanese yen, the most favorable pair, the most favorable signal end is to the upside. So let's go to the 4-hour chart, and with the 4-hour chart traders, we look like we have just done that, and now confirmation is here that we are going to go to the upside with the US dollar and Japanese yen. Any buying setup from these levels we are going to take. We will not be out there ignoring great setups. Let's see. This was the open, that was the close. So if it was up to me, this would be a fantastic buying opportunity right where it is sitting right now. Why do I change this 14-day liquidity? Because the last 14-day liquidity opened from here, and the previous 14-day liquidity closed this candle. This simply means that we are going to look for buying opportunities from these levels, and if you find them in lower time frames, go to the upside, make some money, come back, comment, make sure that everybody sees that I am helping a lot of traders so that the algorithm can push this to serious traders. So with that being said, traders, this is the US dollar and the Japanese yen. Remember last week it trapped a lot of traders because the directional bias was not clear, but for us it is still clear as we are speaking. So that is it from me with the US dollar and the Japanese yen. We are now going to the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. And with the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, very simply put, if we can get this to retest the wave liquidity down here to look for selling opportunities, to the downside to make that 1:20, then this would be a great opportunity. But if we do get a deeper pullback to retest the wave liquidity, the 14-day liquidity down up here, then this would signifies bearish patterns and formations to the downside. So with that being the case, traders, what does this simply mean? This simply means that I am looking to sell the US dollar and the Canadian dollar more than I'd be willing to buy it, right? So if that's the case, then why would I worry about buying opportunities? Because the most probable opportunities that give chances are selling opportunities in the dollar, except for US dollar and the Japanese yen. From there, I'm not looking for selling opportunities because the Japanese yen is potentially weaker than the US dollar. So with that being said, beautiful traders, this means that this means that selling opportunities, this is opportunity one, this might be opportunity two. So if there's no clear setup, there's no trade. Most traders don't come from the market, they come from forcing trades, which means you can try to sell this here or try to sell this here while it's still moving, whereas you didn't get in from the best chance possible from last week. This creates chaos in the markets. This creates chaos in your portfolio or your trading account. So you do not want to be part of this. You don't want to be part of this. And let's go over to higher time frames to see what the market has in store for us. Of course, we have to deal with the daily time frame. Now, the daily time frame, this looks particularly not ready for a sell. It is misaligned. Why do I say it is misaligned? Because this looks like a buy opportunity. This looks like we are going to go for another round to the upside. So for us to go here, we would have to look for selling opportunities from this level. We would stay out of this until the daily time frame gives us a clear signal on what is going to happen in the markets. But potentially because of the lower time frames, we might be able to see change of structures and then a continuation to the downside. Overall direction to the downside, but also look at this. This is a strong momentum to the downside, a pullback, strong momentum to the downside, and then another. This might potentially be a sell that continues to break structures and continues to break structure to the downside. So that's it with the US dollar and the Canadian dollar on the daily time frame. We are now going to the weekly time frame. And on the weekly time frame, traders, I want to make sure that you wait. I want to emphasize patience on this. Why do I want to emphasize patience? Because I want to tell you something. Being early in the market feels smart. It feels smart, right? Everybody wants to feel like they are the first one uh to see a trading signals, and if you are early, it makes you feel smart, but it is very expensive in the market. Either you are early or you are right. So you don't want to be early, you just want to be right in the market. So this here shows that the sellers, the daily time frame does not show that, but the weekly time frame shows that sellers are in full control of this, just like in here. Now in here, this might potentially break the low or make or reach this level. You would like to reach it with us because potentially we are structured to the downside on US dollar and the Canadian dollar. Why the Canadian dollar has been strong against a couple of setups we've seen last week with the win that we had, which was the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen. We bought that pair and it was fantastic to the upside. So this also symbolizes the strength in the Canadian dollar to the downside. That's why I'm saying it might just not even pull back that deep. It can just continue to the downside without any problem. So that is it with the weekly time frame. And since this is the weekly time frame that we are dealing with, we are going to the last but not least, which is the monthly time frame. And on the monthly time frame, traders, look at this. This is closer to making that bearish engulfing, just like we have seen the DXY making, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, because on the US dollar we didn't get that, so that simply means we are not interested. But this one is so close to it, it can give us a second test of this level right here before continuing to the upside or going to the downside. But the main target is to arrive to the downside with the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. Remember, the market doesn't move for you, it moves for liquidity. If you understand where liquidity is, you understand the move. So this is your move. You don't want to be here trying to catch this here, here, here when it goes to the upside. This is your move. You are only looking for selling opportunities. So with this being the last but not least currency pair, US dollar and the Canadian dollar, we are going to the lower time frames again to confirm what we just did and said. So if you have seen the daily and the weekly and the monthly, potentially this is a great opportunity to look for selling opportunities to the downside. And again, this is another great opportunity to look for selling opportunities to the downside. Either way, we are not buying this, we are looking for selling opportunities in this currency market. So that is it from me, traders. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, you subscribe, leave a comment if you're a serious trader. This is how YouTube helps this video to go and be seen by real traders like you are. From me, bye bye. I will see you on the next video.